it's the biggest issue I think with mental health is how common drink is and how normalised it is. And the amount of people I work with now, I'm trying to get off alcohol, but they find it so hard because the friends, even though they know they've got problems, they're like, "Oh, just have one drink, you'll be okay," or "Why are you not drinking?" and just won't let them leave it alone. Because I think it makes them insecure that they're not drinking, because they now don't need to drink to have a good time, and sort of plays on the friends' demons, let's say. And it's so hard for people to get away from. If you're trying to get off cocaine, as long as you stay away from certain people and certain places, you're probably not going to come in contact with it. But how do you get away from drink? Everybody goes out for tea. Everybody has family parties. It's there in your face. You can buy it in the shop. And that's probably people's biggest struggle, is getting away from drink.
Yeah, it's a social thing. It's a massive
100%.
social thing, like you said, like parties, meals out, or going on a date. Like, drink's always involved.
Yeah.
One of the main things, and I know we've just spoken about it before the podcast, where people might say, well, I like going out for a drink, or that's my sort of escape on the weekend. What do you say to the people who obviously think, I can drink and I'm fine with it, I know my tolerance, or where's that line where you're just drawn, where you've gone past the limit of, I'm addicted?
I suppose it's a good one. I don't think enough people realise that they are addicted. I think people can say, "Oh, I have a couple of glasses at night, or maybe one every night. It's only one. Such and such a body has 10. And I think if I hear people say the thing of, "I need a glass of wine or a beer at night to switch off," that's addiction. You shouldn't need it on a Wednesday night after work. You shouldn't need a drink to go to sleep. If you're at that stage, you need help. So, if you can have a couple at the weekend and be okay on a Sunday and it not affect your mental health, okay, you go and crack on. But if you're at the stage where you need a drink every night to switch off, you need help. You're an addict.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the reliance on the drink to sort of wind down or enjoy your night out with your mates.
Or if it's having a negative impact on your life, you're still doing it. If you're, somebody were training every week, if they're coming in and they're like, "Oh, went out again at the weekend, felt crap till Wednesday, not trained, not felt good in myself, been anxious," right, you need to stop it.
Yeah.
It's a problem. As soon as it's a problem, it's got to go. But a lot of people don't want to admit they've got a problem unless they're drinking it all day, every day.
Yeah, so with someone who's in that situation, what would the first step or the first piece of advice you'd give them to sort of...
Well, they need to do at least, depending on how bad they are, and they need to do at least a period of time off it. And then obviously, as we do, you've got to replace it with another habit. We all need highs in life. We all need to switch off, as we call it. But drink's a negative way of doing it. Obviously, gym's the positive way. Yeah. So you've got to get away from drinking and then, start working on yourself. The gym's the only way, really, isn't it? Or, like say, get into running, or even you do a sport. Fair enough, you've got to replace that bad habit with a positive habit and avoid it for at least a period of time, depending on how dependent you are on it at the minute.
Definitely. I feel like with exercise, that's a good one. And I was speaking to someone about this last week, actually, in university. So exercise, obviously, loads of studies have shown like it helps mental health. Like we both know, obviously, personal trainers firsthand, like how much of an improvement you see in someone's confidence, self-esteem, like setting goals and they stick to it, they're disciplined. But do you never think that it could be a distraction from the actual problem?
Good point, this, mate. So I've also got a bit of, let's say, an obsession with, because I was a rugby lad and, played it semi-professional, and know a lot of people who've gone on to play professional. So obviously they train every day, which, as we're saying, is really good for your mental health. But then the mental health is still a bit screwed because they resort to drinking at weekend. So many athletes are into taking drugs at weekend. So I think there's two things you've got to nail.
Yeah.
Exercise is probably the easiest one to do first because it puts you in a more confident state to push yourself to deal with the other problems. And the second one is, like being able to talk about it, being able to work on your mindset outside of training so that you have good habits and, good coping mechanisms for the rest of your life. But very few people get them both right.
Yeah. Do you feel like outside of drugs or alcohol, there is any other main issues that you see with people, like whether it's comparison? I always feel like comparison's a main one of my life's worse than somebody else's.
Yeah.
Especially with social media.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I suppose the drink and alcohol are things that sink people. I mean, I suppose everybody, aside from that, has always got issues going on. Life is problems in it, and you have a problem, and it's, right, how do I deal with that? But yeah, I suppose comparison, social media these days, a lack of purpose, mate, innit? I believe anybody can survive anything they go through if their life has a purpose, if their life has a meaning. When I was getting into reading, I read a lot of Auschwitz survivors' books, and they used to say that the people who survived Auschwitz, the people had a meaning for their life, whether it was because there was a doctor in the camp or, they had a purpose, but the people who didn't just, died very quickly, yeah.
And that was something you spoke about in your book, actually. I remember reading it, how having that purpose, setting that goal, it's what spurs you on. It sort of takes you out of that bad habit, because at the end of the day, if you are in a bad habit, the sort of only thing you're revert back to, if it is drink or if it is drugs, that's all you're going to do, because that's what you're so used to doing. It's like it is a habit. So having that habit where it's like, right, I'm exercising, I've got a goal set, I want to run a 10K. It's like, I need to work towards that. There's something there that's keeping you sort of going.
Yeah, no, we all need to be obsessed with something, don't we? You know what I mean? People are obsessed with food, say drink, drugs, or you're obsessed with training, or obsessed with helping people, aren't you? You know, it's a natural thing and not a bad thing, but again, it's channeling it the right way and getting up every day being obsessed of wanting to get better and help people, or to get up every day obsessed for the weekend.
So I hope you enjoyed this clip. It's just a little insight into my new podcast called The New Renaissance. If you want to check out the full episode, they'll be linked on YouTube or Spotify. Please subscribe on YouTube and please follow on Spotify, and give me any feedback on the episodes that you listen to.